need to hit the. Oh, there we go. This is the blooper reel. There we go.
Oh, do we hear that whistle? Yep. There we go. I think you know what that means.
Blooper reel.
There we go. Week 1. Let's freaking go. Hey, sorry about me being late. I was calling in on the SEC channel, talking about my take on the Crimson Tide, and I was talking with TJ and John on the Michigan channel about the Alabama channel, and well, you know what I've been doing on there, of course, telling everybody about that merch store. But just staying busy, especially on week 1. Sorry about keeping you guys late. Austin, sorry about keeping you late, but we're here now. We're here covering the final whistle with all of you as we go over our takes on Florida State turning it all around against the Alabama Crimson Tide. The LSU Tigers finally getting their win, that big season opening win for the first time since 2019. The Texas-Ohio State matchup, Lee Corso's final headgear pick, and much, much more with all of you. And let me tell you something, folks. You're going to be in for a wild ride. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, Jackson. I mean, Louisville, we took care of business. Even though we had a cupcake this week against DKU, I am enjoying the nice victory. But the more important question is, Jackson, how in the world are you doing? Because Lord,
I'm doing all
we'll
right.
Get into it. We'll get into it a little more when we talk about Bama, Florida State. But good buddy.
Well, for me, that'll be the 5th time I've talked about Alabama, Florida State.
It'll be my first time, so I'm way behind. But I'm doing pretty good. Like I enjoyed myself, and I think we talk about these games because we had some interesting results today. But with that being said, though, Jackson, let's start with the Thursday games. Let's start on Thursday with South Florida upsetting Boise State. And zoom in here. We were actually, well, that's Rutgers, Ohio. We'll get to that in just a second. Here we go. All kinds of bloopers tonight, folks. It's week 1. We're not mid-season form yet. South Florida, Boise. Me and Jackson were actually in the middle of a live stream when this game was going on. Thanks, by the way, Jerry Jones. But what you saw of it, Jackson? What did you think of this game?
We got another contender in the American Athletic Conference for that playoff bid.
Yeah, and Boise's offense looked really pedestrian without Ashton Ginty. I knew they would probably take a big step back, but Jackson, they looked horrible. I know it's week 1 and it's big overreaction time, right? But my gosh, Jackson, Boise State looked bad. They didn't look good at all. South Florida looked good. And Jackson, their next 2 games, they've got Miami and Florida. Those are no longer the cupcake games anymore. South Florida might make some noise next week and the week after that, and they might upset Miami or Florida. South Florida, Jackson, might be for real. They may not be that silly old South Florida that we used to laugh at. But as for Boise, they've got a lot of work to do, and then with this offense, that's what I'll say.
Yeah. It's just like Alex Golesh is getting things rolling at South Florida. Can he do what other coaches couldn't do before him? Get that conference title for South Florida. That's got to be the question there. I mean, yeah, they won a division title under Willie Taggart in 2016, but that's it. Can Golesh get that conference title for South Florida? Can he get him to the playoffs? Well, that's a little – I'm not saying it can't be done, but can we see things? Can we see it? We'll find out next week against the Florida Gators and 3 weeks from now against Miami, Florida. which, I mean, well, 2 weeks from now, let's be honest, Miami will probably find a way to piss it away.
Jackson's already throwing shade at Miami, and they haven't even played yet. That tells you what
Well,
kind of mood he's
Miami's
in.
going to think more about Florida than South Florida. I mean,
Oh, this is true. This is true. But I will say though, Jackson, Rutgers, Ohio. This actually ended up being more of an entertaining game than I originally thought it would be.
oh my
Ohio,
God, that was close, but no cigar for the Ohio Bobcats.
yes, Jackson, Rutgers offense, like they could score, but their defense, Jackson, yeah. If Rutgers is getting in shootouts, Jackson, I would be very concerned if I'm a Rutgers fan. Lord have mercy, I hope they're not getting in shootouts because their defense gave up 31 points and over 500 yards of total offense to Ohio. And I get it, Ohio is one of the more decent teams in the group of five or categories, but it took a 4th and 7 for Rutgers to hold on and win. Gutsy call by Shiano up 3, but it shouldn't have came to that. Rutgers should have blew him off the field. But what's your take on this game, real quick?
There's plenty of ball left for Rutgers. That's all I can say.
That's true.
Oh my God, oh my God, this is too funny for Dave Valesky. He's giving us some updates. Jesus Christ, Cal is wow.
Yes.
I think they heard us talking about just Wilcots.
And Jackson, I think Cal was tired of being disrespected. Maybe Cal has hype now.
Yeah, right. But North Carolina State winning their rematch against East Carolina. That's a huge win. Although, got to see more from East Carolina. Central Florida dodged a bullet against Jacksonville State. Oh,
I told you that was one, Jackson. That was another one I told you that could get interesting, and you didn't think nothing of it, and it got interesting. I have a key for picking these games, Jackson. That might be my thing. Because we'll get to Bama here in a minute.
I need to take you to Vegas, man. I tell you what, I need to take you to Vegas.
Now, I'll stay here in Kentucky. I'll stay here. But in all seriousness, though, I said Wednesday night. I even told you, good buddy. I was like, UCF Jacksonville State. That's gonna be closer than the experts think. UCF's gonna pull out a squeaker, and you were like, nah, they're gonna win by double digits. And it was a dogfight till the end. And Jackson, let me ask you something. Is this a bad sign for Scott Frost in his second go around at UCF that they're having to hang on against Jacksonville State?
Well, it is the first game of the second stint, not the 24th game of his second stint.
That's true. That's true. So maybe we can cut him a little slack on that. But UCF Jackson, I need to see improvement going forward. But Delaware got a nice win. Good for the Blue Hens. UNL Monroe, who Bama plays next week in prime time. Which, by the way, Wayne, I don't know why they put UNL Monroe and Bama in prime time, but that's another story for another day. The most boring game ever, Jackson. Wyoming gets a 10-point victory over Akron. Missouri looks good. Duke put it together. Oklahoma State. Minnesota Jackson had a bit of a game for a minute, but they were able to come through. Mr. Fleck got it done. Did you see any of this game, Jack?
No. But that's Minnesota for you. Like Minnesota and Buffalo for you. But I think like Minnesota will be all right. But I mean, like I think everybody's just kind of getting the kinks in for week 1. But I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Like it's when it gets to late September, early mid-October, we can have a better evaluation of everybody. Houston defeating Stephen F. Austin. Well, I mean, they're supposed to be real. Oh my God! Like
You-
Nebraska says, let's go down to that.
yeah.
Are
Yeah.
things uprise with the Matt Rule era? Well,
hmm
here's what I say. Yes, because they finally won a close game.
hmm
They
Well,
didn't
and
pee
here's
all
the
over themselves.
That's true. But Jackson also, we got to give Scott Satterfield and Cincinnati some credit too, good buddy, because I told you on Wednesday I thought Cincinnati might be able to keep this close. Does this change your mind about Cincinnati?
No.
Could they really?
What did I tell you? What did I tell you Wednesday? It wouldn't have mattered if Cincinnati beat Nebraska or if they lost to Nebraska. I have to see
hmm
how they perform the rest of the season, which I don't think they're going to have that good of a year. If you're thinking Cincinnati's going to contend for a Big 12 title, let me tell you something. That's not going to happen. You're not going to see them bring their A game against other teams in the Big 12. It's just not happening. I don't see it. It's just missed opportunities all over the place. And you're going to see a
Well,
lot of it again with Satterfield. I mean, like Louisville, I know is happy about him leaving them. They're like, we don't care. We got Jeff Brom.
hmm Well, and the thing too, I'll say about this too, Jackson, is it felt like Nebraska, you know, you know, it felt like a home game for them because Arrowhead Stadium was full of red, and it was Nebraska red too. And the thing was, Jackson, they tried to give this game away a couple times. Brendan Sorsby Jackson, the former Indiana quarterback. Oh my goodness. This weekend, Jackson, I am hitting my head against the wall with these quarterbacks. Why? I understand you want to take a shot, take the top off the defense just to see, but that was double covered. Why do you throw that double coverage? It gets picked off more than it
God.
doesn't.
It's
That's
a
why
joke.
Cincinnati lost because they were driving. They were going to score, I think, until he threw that pick. And I even said as soon as he threw it, that's going to be a pick. And it
You're gonna
happened.
be
And I'm like,
disappointed by them boys. Like that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna be disappointed by those Bearcat boys. I'm telling you that if you're hoping for bigger things to happen, if you're hoping that Satterfield will get a Big 12 title or get him close to Big 12 title contention, you're not gonna see it. I mean, Kansas is gonna stomp a mud hole up their ass. BYU is gonna stomp all over them. Don't even get me
mhm.
started what Utah is going to do to them in the back room on November 1st. I mean, you're gonna need Jesus. I'm just gonna tell you, if you're Cincinnati, you're gonna need Jesus for the rest of the season.
Well, that's the thing too, Jackson. That's what irritates me because Cincinnati could have won this game. It wasn't like they played that bad that they couldn't have won. That's what upsets me. And he threw it in double coverage. I'll never understand it. I understand, like I understand we're armchairing it here, but you see double coverage, don't throw it. Don't
I'm telling you,
just
man,
just leave it
don't hit your wagon to Satterfield, man. It's not gonna end well for you, man.
Which, and here's the thing too, Jackson, with Nebraska. I mean, they even mentioned on the telecast what you've been preaching, and I'm starting to believe it a little bit. It's Matt Rule in his third year with a team, gets him going in the right direction. And he led Baylor to a Big 12 title appearance. He led Temple to a Big East title appearance in his third year.
AAC title appearance.
AAC, my bad. AAC, not Big East. Uh, And they were talking about it. Could this be the year Nebraska makes the big jump? We'll have to find out and see. But
Somebody that's not making a big jump anytime soon is Wisconsin. I mean,
Lord have
geez,
mercy.
that win is sloppy. It's just terrible. And you know what makes it worse is Billy Edwards Jr. was getting hurt, and he's not expected to miss extended time. And from what we're hearing, is he could return just in time for Alabama.
hmm
And
I
thankfully,
mean,
it's not a long term injury.
yes. I mean, here's the thing, Jackson. I'll give Wisconsin the latitude and that their quarterback got hurt and they're trying to be very vanilla with the playbook, not open it up too much. A lot of teams, Jackson, I noticed this weekend, didn't up their playbook a lot. And I understand why. If you're playing a cupcake opponent, you really don't want to open that playbook up. Here's the thing, though, too, Jackson. I mean, I'll ask you this. How are you feeling about Wisconsin now in 2 weeks? I mean, we'll get to Bama here in a minute, but
Oof.
has your mind changed on at all?
We're gonna find out a lot about the Badgers within the next couple weeks. Hell, I think we'll know a little more about the Badgers next week. Because I honestly, I'm
Mhm.
not liking where things are going right now. I think things are not going as planned for Luke Fickle. He's thinking, okay, I thought I was going to win right away, but no, I'm not. So, but who
Mhm.
knows?
Mhm.
If Wisconsin does
Mhm.
decide, hey, I'm getting rid of Luke Fickle, guess who's going to be really happy to, they're going to, guess who's going to hold up their arms? The Cincinnati Bearcats.
Mhm. Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Come back home. I missed you."
Yeah.
But I will say, good win for Wisconsin. I mean, sloppy win, but good win. San Diego State, Jackson, that they looked good, but they did play Stony Brook. On to Friday's games. Illinois, Jackson did what they supposed to. They look like a really good team. And Jackson, the upset of the
Oh, that was a
freaking day on
wild finish. That was a wild finish on Tarleton State Army.
Jackson, what in the world happened? I like Army was supposed to be one of the favorites to win the American again. Not with this, they're not. Did you see any of this game?
I saw a little bit of it on Sports Center.
Lord have mercy. I mean, here's the thing too, Jackson. I know Army missed a field goal that would have won the game, and then they missed one in overtime, and it was just like Jesus Christ. And I don't know, Jackson,
Um,
why they decided to throw the ball more instead of doing what they normally do and just ground and pound and run the rock. They got away from it. It's
well,
ridiculous what it is. Man.
I will say though, we would show you the field goal, but we don't want to deal with the copyright crap. As TJ says, copyright's a bitch.
Yes. I mean, one of the bigger upsets of the weekend, I would say. But Michigan State tw- eh, looked good. How much did
That's what
you
they're
see,
supposed to.
Jackson?
Not a whole, not
Would
any
you,
of Michigan State. I mean, they did what they're supposed to do: smack Western Michigan.
Jackson? I know it's week one, but is Wake Forest that bad?
It's Wake Forest. What do you think?
I mean, 10-9 and Jake Dicker's coaching debut, really? Over Kennesaw
Oh,
State?
he wants to go back to Washington State now.
Jackson, Wake Forest is awful, 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 awful. I, Jackson, do you think they can get maybe 5 wins?
All right now, no.
Oh my gosh. App State look good. Jackson, your boys at Kansas looking good again. Are you starting
It's
to restore your faith in
Wadner.
Kansas?
It's Wadner, not Alabama. Well, okay. It's Wadner, not Clemson. Jeez.
You almost said Alabama.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, it's
Jack,
not like playing Alabama, but anyway, that Auburn Baylor game. Are we ready to go back to saying Dave Aranda's on the hot seat? Not just yet. Let's see how he can finish the September slate. Let's see how that turns out.
and Jackson, I've seen a lot of people say this was a marquee win for Hugh Freeze.
Yes.
What do you think, Jackson?
A
Was
much needed win. A much needed win. But the next
Mhm.
step now is to get through the cupcake games and also get through the rest of September and see if you can beat at least one of Georgia or Alabama in the 2025 season.
Mhm. I, Jackson, and I want to say this too. I want to give credit where credit's due. Jackson Arnold looked really good. Now, Baylor's trench defense was not very good either. They got beat in the trenches. Auburn's O line was pushing them all and everything. And Auburn had a 98-yard kick return for a touchdown too. It just seemed like everything Auburn did, they did it right. They their offense was clicking there. And this was against Baylor, a team a lot of people think could be a dark horse in the Big 12. It wasn't like they played a cupcake. I mean, here's the thing, like you said, Jackson, this is a big win for Hugh Freeze. I think it kind of silenced some of his doubters, at least for a minute, in my opinion. At least for a minute. I, but like you said, we need to see a little more going ahead. And is Jackson Arnold going to turn back into the pumpkin, so to speak? Because let's remember, Jackson, he did this at Oklahoma too. He had a great game against Bama, but then the following week against LSU, he cracked the bed with 2 picks and a fumble. So I'll give him credit. He played great against Baylor, but I need to see him play consistently great and not just 1 week and then here I am 1 week later throwing 3 picks and losing the game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Auburn. Although they're pretty happy right now, but I wouldn't be celebrating too much. You got to get through the
let
rest
me
of
ask.
September first, boys.
Well, let me ask you this, Jackson. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but what do you think about this, Jackson? People are already calling Auburn a borderline playoff team just off this win. What do you think about that?
Let's cool
The
it
people
on
that
playoff contenders.
okay,
Let's chill out for a bit. It's like
okay,
it's not like they're beating a top 10 team. They beat a Baylor
hmm
team that beat the living piss out of 6 piss poor teams in a row last season to get a winning record. I mean, it's like it's not anything impressive. Nothing against Baylor,
hmm
but you're not
I am
exactly
too.
dealing with RG3, you know. Although
hmm
RG3 called it and he's like, oh, this is like my own personal nightmare.
hmm I will say this too, Jackson. The people that were saying Auburn's a playoff team off 1 game, I'm just like, let's chill it, guys. Calm down. They beat Baylor. Like Baylor's a good team, but let us calm down. And
Oh,
Jackson, go ahead.
I
Go
think
for
they're
it.
smoking dope a little bit, honestly, when they say that.
Colorado, Georgia Tech, Jackson. This was a fun game to watch. I mean, Haynes King and that Georgia Tech offense, Jackson. There is something to be said about them having the hype of being potential ACC contenders, especially Haynes King, Jackson. That dude is gutsy as all get out. I mean, he took so many hits this game, and he hung in there, and he won it for him at the end. What'd you think of this game, Jackson?
I thought it was a great game. Like when I saw that this game was going to be on Friday night, I knew that it was going to be a great one right then and there. It was going to be a great game, and we were not
Mm-hmm.
disappointed. And, the fact is,
Nope.
and there is one criticism I have about like Georgia Tech, Colorado, and Auburn, Baylor being on at the same time, different narratives. It's like, wait a minute, that's kind of screwing with the Big 12 a little bit. Like, put it on different times or something. Like, good grief. Although it didn't bother me as much because that meant I could flip between both of them. But I know, like, our buddy Wild You from CFB Mafia didn't like that one bit. And I can understand that because it was like, that kind of screws with the Big 12 a little bit. And I've talked with some people who you will see on Alabama with the Voice College Football and on West Virginia and Big 12 Voice College Football about some stuff involving SC, Big 12, all that stuff. But you know, Georgia Tech, Colorado was a great game, humongously great game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say, I want to see what Georgia Tech can bring against Clemson in week 3, although I've got a feeling they're going to bring magic. And whoever it was that said that Cal's the ACC contender has not seen Georgia Tech. I'm not naming. I'm not
Well, and
naming.
here's the
But whoever it was that said Cal's an ACC title contender, they've not seen Georgia Tech. So,
well, and what I will say this, Jackson, even though Colorado lost, Caden Salter's good, like for the most part. He had some really good plays.
yes.
I think Colorado, I think
Dude's
they're
a
gonna have a nice
baller.
season. Yes. And their O-line was playing better. Their defense, though, Jackson, good Lord. They still have no run defense. And listen, I love Coach Prime. Jackson, you know how much I love Coach Prime. But his clock management skills, Lord mercy. Jackson, get that dude to watch something. Did you see his end-of-game clock management, Jackson? That was piss poor to get his part-time.
You know it's bad. You know it's bad when Austin is talking about the indecisiveness of the clock management of Deion Sanders, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
You know it's bad.
Yes. And Dave Walensky says Georgia Tech is his pick to win, my pick to win the ACC. That's a good pick after everything we've seen. I mean, not to toot our own horn here, but Louisville has a pretty strong case too. We look really good today. SMU looks pretty good, and Hummus still thinks Clemson's going to come out on top. I mean, yeah, Clemson's defense was great. We'll get to that.
We'll definitely get to them. Florida State, I think you're right about Hummus, about Florida State being a contender after today, which we'll get to that in a bit. Ask us after week 4, or better yet, after Duke. Like at the earliest, ask us after Duke. But if they're beating Duke, wait till week 4, wait till week 5. Because honestly, after their stretch against Indiana and USC, we will have a better answer for you by then. Now, question I've got to ask before we get out of this Friday slate and onto the meat and potatoes of the plate, so to speak. Who do you feel like is more of a contender in the Big 12, Austin? Baylor or Colorado?
Baylor or Colorado. After everything I saw, I'm still going to say Colorado. I think they showed me more than Baylor did. Because here's why. Even though both Baylor and Colorado's trenches were bad, Baylor's offense, though, they had a lot of help. I know the Georgia Tech had 3 turnovers, but I'm more confident Colorado moving the ball than I am Baylor at the moment. I feel like Auburn kind of lacked up, and a lot of it was quick stride. I would say Colorado right now would be if I was to pick a favorite. What about you, Jackson? Who would be your favorite?
I think Colorado, as of right now, is more of a contender than Baylor. Because, like, if Baylor is not having a good day against Auburn, which I'm not saying that's an indictment on Baylor. That's not it. I just have more questions about how they're going to perform in the rest of their conference. Because, I mean, like, if they're going to rebound, they better do it now because next Saturday they have to go to SMU. That's going to be a tough game for the Baylor Bears. You better rebound in this game if you want to show that you're a playoff contender. Now, you better show what you can do against Arizona State, Oklahoma State. Now, Kansas State, I think, is kind of getting the kinks out, which, once again, we will get to Kansas State in just a little bit. But Kansas State, not a top 25 team. Utah, man, they're going to put some scares. What they're doing, the UCLA, I could see them doing something like that to Baylor. But
Here's the thing. I will say this before we move on to today's games and look at the rest of Friday's. A lot of this might be overreactions week one, right? So a lot of it we may be going off our heart and our gut. But as the old saying is, we still got 3 more games left to be played too.
oh yeah,
Tomorrow and Monday. So we're gonna learn a lot about it. But this is just how we feel in the moment. But I will say this though. Let's I know it's hard as football fans, but let's not overreact too much. Let's not crown anybody champions. Let's not say this team's superior to the other. We've still got 14 weeks ahead of us. But
yes.
Florida International, good win for them. UNLV offense looked stellar. Defense did better, but again, Sam Houston. Central Michigan, like they had
Oh
mentioned in
my
the chat, look.
God, that's a depressing way to lose for San Jose State. Oh my God, that's terrible. Oh my
Yeah, I know.
God.
Yes, I know, Jackson. Yes, I.
Oh my
Yeah, I
God.
watched a little bit of this game after Colorado, Georgia Tech, and I'm like, you had the game won. What is wrong with you? And they missed both field goals. Good win for Central Michigan, but
Let's
yeah.
get to Saturday
But
slate. That San Jose State thing. That's too depressing. Oh, Tulane beat the hell out of Northwestern. That was cool.
so score updates real fast. Arizona State, who won the Big 12 last year, is putting it on Northern Arizona. Uh, Washington State, Idaho is in a
Oh,
good one on the
jeez.
CW. Of course, it's the CW.
Oh, looks like I better turn on the
Cal,
CW. Oh my God!
yes.
Come on.
Cal is up by 2 scores on Oregon State, and Hawaii's Magic, I think, he ran
Oregon
out in the
State
desert.
sucks.
Utah,
Oh,
Utah looking
Arizona is.
good.
If you ever watch Killers of the
Mm-hmm.
Flower Moon, you'll know like there's like that one scene where like Robert De Niro gets that paddle to Leonardo DiCaprio. That's what Arizona is doing to Hawaii right now, and that's what Utah is doing to UCLA right now. And pull back up the Washington Colorado State right quick. Pull back up. Pull back up.
It's a
Okay.
7 point game.
Yeah, Washington was favored by 20, so they can beat the spread by 21 points or more, then that's a win right there. Okay, so Washington State has won against Idaho, and okay, they're giving out their number one fingers. Their number one fingers. They're celebrating. They're celebrating. Okay, Stevens is hugging another guy. There you go. They're all happy. Oh yeah,
I know,
everybody's
right?
happy. Okay, there you go.
So
Okay, they're happy. Move on. Roll the film. Yeah, Texas Tech beat Arkansas
Texas,
Pine Bluff. What do you want me to say to that? Arkansas Pine Bluff sucks. Move on.
calm down, Jackson. We're getting to the results. We're getting to the results. Calm down. Calm down. We're getting to the results. New Mexico State, they beat Bryant. SMU took care of business. Fresno took care of business. Here we go. Here's the meat and potatoes of the matter.
Well, we know
Texas,
Cade the man.
Ohio State.
Well, Cade the man, Cade the Diesel Freak is definitely happy about this result. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And point and shoot, says Julian saying, is the greatest QB in NCAA history. Point and
Yeah.
shoot, I admire the moxie and confidence, but it's one game. We got to see some more before we put the cart in for the horse.
But yeah.
Like, but Jackson, this was probably the most hyped up game of all time, and it
Jesus.
deserved it. It's Lee Corso's last college game day headgear pick. You got 2 bright stars of our game, and you got the defending national champs on live television.
Dave Portnoy on Big Noon Kickoff covering this game, for the first time joining Big Noon Kickoff. And, everything's just kind of rolling for the Buckeyes. They're the defending national champs. And honestly, like no points scored on Texas until the fourth quarter. I mean, Texas like a lot of people were pissed off at Arch Manning. They're like, well, he's not as great as we thought. Well, duh, it's his first full year. It's his fourth full start. All right, my guys, chill out on Arch Manning. He's gonna make you happy. I promise you. He'll make you happy throughout 2025. Peyton Manning didn't make everybody happy right away. I mean, the one gripe people had was Tennessee lose to Florida under Peyton Manning. Arch Manning, not everybody was automatically celebrating Arch Manning, but, here we are. Like the Manning family is like the royal family of football. That's how it is. All those people getting upset about Arch Manning, they're going to get over it. They will get over themselves. I promise you. If you're mad at Arch Manning, like crying in your pillow, trust me, you're going to get away from your pillow. I promise you. You'll get away from it. But the play calling by Steve Sarkisian, it was mid. It was mid.
Well, here's the thing too, Jackson. I'm glad you brought that up. Both defenses, Jackson, were great today. Like Ohio State, did you see the goal line stop they had on 4th and goal when they tried to push Philly style? I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people are going to take away that both these quarterbacks struggled. But the defenses, Jackson, defense won the day today. The two biggest games of week 1, the defenses won the day today.
Yeah.
LSU's defense, Ohio State's defense, Clemson's defense, Texas, all 4 of them showed up today. The defenses are not at fault for any of this. The defenses were great on both sides. And here's the thing too, Jackson. I'm really surprised. Here's the thing. Arch Manning had some great throws today. He had a couple on the last drive that they scored on, which was the only touchdown of the day. He had 2 tremendous throws. They were NFL throws. But he also, under Matt Patricia, had a lot of blitzes coming his way. He had to deal with some pressure. He was 37% on his pass completions, Jackson. He even threw a pick. But thing is too, I feel like Jackson with Arch, like this should be no indicative of how he's gonna be. And like Hummus Hero here says, he says Arch does need to clean up some of his. So surprised he's having those issues with all the tutelage he gets from his uncles. And that's the thing too, Jackson. People expect because he's a Manning, he's automatically going to be the next coming of baby Jesus. And it's like, let the kid grow. I understand he's at Texas and you don't get that chance, but let the kid grow. He's going to grow into his potential. He's got a great defense. Yeah, his offense, he's still learning it. It's his first full year as a starter, and he got thrown in there against a great defense in Ohio State. There's not many quarterbacks you could ask and say, here, go play the defending national champions on live national television with the whole world watching and not put up these numbers. And I know people may be saying, but he's a Manning. He's a Manning. I don't look at it like that. He's still a kid. He's still our age. He's still young. He's going to make a mistake. He's going to make a couple. Like, give the kid space to grow. Like Julian's saying, like, yes, he played good, but he had lots of things he can improve on. And to our Buckeye fans out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but Julian, he made a couple mistakes today. That probably, and he also had a couple great throws. The one to Carmel Tate that put him up 14-0. That was a beautiful throw, an NFL type throw, but an even better play. What I want to take away from this game is these are 2 great defenses, and the quarterbacks, they are young, but the defenses won out today in this game. That was my big takeaway from this. Nobody should be selling their Texas stock or buying more Ohio State stock off this. It was what we expected it to be. 2 great defenses and a young teams on both sides of the ball. Go ahead, Jackson.
Oh, man. Yeah, it was a great win by the Buckeyes. Texas Longhorns, again, They got to work on the play calling because the rest of the season is coming your way, Texas. But always remember,
Mm-hmm.
don't throw the cart in before the horse and don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Those are the two main lessons from week one. Don't celebrate too
Mm-hmm.
early because you got a big win in week one. It doesn't mean you're automatically going to win it all. That's something you got to remember. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying you're going to be failing. I'm not saying you're automatically going to be succeed. I always say let the rest of the season play out. It's like if you invest in something, you have to let something, you have to
Mm-hmm.
let it play out. You can't just panic sell because everyone else is, and you can't panic buy because everybody else is. That's something you cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
That is the lesson
Mm-hmm.
overall throughout week one.
Mm-hmm. One here's the thing too, Jackson. And like Hummus said, he said Julian really didn't make many mistakes. He just didn't have many chances to. Day was protecting. Yeah, I've noticed that Jackson too with Ryan Day. A lot of his first year quarterbacks, the first couple games, he does a lot of safe play calling. Like today, Jackson. Like a lot of the throws, the one to Tate I think was like the longest one he made all day. But a lot of it was the easy check downs. Let's run the ball. Let's get you in the flow. Jeremiah Smith, though, Jackson, he had a couple drops today that he could have easily caught. And I understand Texas was playing really well. So I won't fault him for that. And like Thomas said, a lot of people may look at these games and say, this is boring. This is not what we wanted. Get rid of it. I love it. Like as a defensive guy, I love these type of games. LSU Clemson, which we'll get to here in just a second. I loved it, not just because Brian Kelly won a big game and I can rub it in Jackson's face now here in a second because he's a Brian Kelly hater. But in all seriousness, I love defense. I was a defensive guy in high school when I played for 1 year. I played linebacker. I love defense, but I just don't like all this hippity high scoring stuff. It bugs
Right.
me. But I will say this though. My overall thoughts, Jackson, last thing I will say is nobody should be getting hyped or get down on either Texas or Ohio State after this result. It was your 1 versus 3. It delivered. It did what it needed to do. But and 1-2 says no proof that was good defense. It is equally like bad offense. Need more games to know. Well, that's true too. That's true too. And that's the thing too. We'll learn that too. But let me ask you this, Jackson, before we go. Well, not before we go. Before we move on. Texas fourth down play calling. What'd you think of it, Jackson? Because that was a lot of what I saw today was the biggest critique. The fourth down play calling. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was. I was
Eh,
not too. I wasn't too happy with the play calling of Steve Sarkisian, but but hey, on the bright side to a certain caller, you got your wish. Texas got barbecued.
exactly.
He knows who
But
he is, and I'm just like, hey, you can have me. I made it. You can have me.
mhm.
So
But Jackson, Penn State did what they were supposed to do. We'll come back to this in a second. We'll save this
suck.
flag.
Nothing to take away from that. But LSU Clemson, that was a humongous game right there.
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. We're gonna save that for last, buddy. Save that for the main event. Now we gotta save that for last, Jackson. We're gonna savor that for Mr. BK. 'Cause he deserves it. But Georgia took care of business. Montana State, oh my gosh. Jackson, I'm glad I didn't pick Montana State. And here we go. This is
Let's
where
get it
everything gets
over
fun.
with. Let's get over. Oh man, that's the fifth time I've talked about Alabama, Florida State. But you know what? That's what I'm here to do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to
Real
talk
fast.
about what happened.
Jackson, I'm normally not that guy, but I'm going to be that guy tonight. I told you Florida State was coming to play you guys tough.
You got
I
your
won't
money's
be.
worth on the super chat on Thursday night.
Yes, I did. Backstory real fast. And you all even saw it Wednesday night.
Hey,
So
at
you
least
walk.
it wasn't the guy who said 48-17 Alabama. Like, Jeffrey and I were saying 35-17
I said
Alabama.
20-19 because I remember because I sent the super chat. I said 20-19 Bama, and you and Jeffrey were both like, "No faith, Austin. You have no faith." Well, and you see why, Jackson. I'll let you go on this because people want to hear your take. But I'm going to take my little victory lap here. I
Well,
warned
I'm telling you right
Jeffrey.
now, I'm gonna take Austin with me to Vegas if I ever go to Vegas, or Atlantic City, because I'm gonna be like, "Hey, what are you thinking?" I'm just gonna bet. I'm betting $20 here, betting $20 there. Well, we'll just get like a wheelbarrow of money. Just be like, "Oh, and I'll be back for that quarter." But in all seriousness,
But in all seriousness, though, here's the thing, though, which I'll let Jackson go on this too because this is his team. But I, I did think this was going to be a whole lot more competitive than a lot of people did. And I remember even calling it. I even called in Mark Rogers on his show, and I even told him that. And he even thought I was a little too optimistic. But Jackson, before I go, since this is your team, what the hell went wrong? Pardon my language, but what the hell
what
went
we
wrong?
had there was failure to communicate at Bama today.
Uh huh.
The rain got to us, and our defense did not play well enough. We didn't utilize our running game enough. That was bad. That was bad on our part. And I think, honestly, for us to win ball games, we need to utilize our running game more often. We better do that. You heard me say it a lot this time last year. I'm saying it again. We need to utilize the running game early on. Stop expecting Ty Simpson to save the day for you. I'm not saying give up on Ty Simpson. I'm saying don't get overly reliant on Ty Simpson. Stop being overly reliant on one guy. You got your O line. Run the dang ball. That's what you got to do. And we did.
Mm-hmm.
We failed. We failed at that. We failed at running the ball. And it's the first
Mm-hmm.
time since 2001 that we have lost in a season opener. And that was against the
Mm-hmm.
UCLA Bruins. And that was in the
Mm-hmm.
dark ages of the internet where we didn't have YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter. But
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you it's going to be an interesting rest season. Now, this may just be a bad day, just getting the kinks out and all that. This could be a motivator. Or it could be the start of a really bad road. But I like to think the best part about being down is the only way to go is up. Now,
But and mm-hmm. Go ahead,
honestly,
Jackson.
I think honestly, we just need to kind of get things rolling against Louisiana Monroe, which we should. We should have a good night against Wisconsin, but we're going to wait and see. We need to really utilize our defense. We need to make sure we get our defense right. Because like I'm looking at the total of rushing yards we had today. 87 rushing yards. 87 rushing yards. That's not good. That is not good. That's bad. That's
Mm-mm.
bad.
Jackson, they looked very undisciplined, which was
Yeah.
surprising. Like Jackson, they looked like they didn't really care to be there. They were like, And that's the thing too, Jackson. And I like Kalen DeBoer. I really
Don't
do.
say that, Trojan fight. Don't say that. Oh no, because
Oh no.
now I'm
But to
already
my point,
now
though,
I'm
Jackson,
thinking about revenge in Tuscaloosa against Florida State next year. That's gonna be fun.
I like Kalen DeBoer, Jackson, but it seemed like his team was very undisciplined today. It seemed like they didn't really have a care in the world. They were outplayed all game long. There was no point in that game where I thought Bama's gonna. They're just messing with them. They're gonna get it together. I had said Jackson when it was after Castellano scored the touchdown where no one touched him. I'm like, this is Florida State football at its best right here. Mike Norvell's back, and that's the thing too. Jackson, Mike Norvell. Did you see the way he looked all game? He's a different man.
Yeah.
Last year, Jackson, I think changed him. He was sick and tired of listening all offseason. And I even told you via super chat that Mike Norvell is tired of listening to his disrespect. So he's probably thinking right about now, are you going to show us a little respect now? We just put Bama on the floor. Like, show us, talk about us now. But you're going to talk
I mean,
about
the fact is, everybody talks about like the addition of Gus Malzahn being a huge win for Florida State. But I've not heard anybody talk about the addition of Tony White, where they snatched him from Nebraska to Florida State. That's a humongous win right there. I mean, that Florida money is going to go a long way. I mean, when's the last time you ever heard somebody say, I'm taking a vacation in Nebraska? No, he's taking a vacation. He gets to go take a vacation in Florida and go play Margaritaville. Like, that's the thing, though. And he's going to be able to win ball games as defensive coordinator of Florida State. I mean, Florida, and we saw Castellanos, like, when he was, like, bragging that we're going to beat Bama. I myself laughed at it. I'll tell you what, for a team, I laughed my ass off at it. I thought that is moronic to say. Why would you even say that in public? But I will say, though, it's a good thing that he was saying that, because what he was doing was letting his teammates know, they say it's impossible, but who says we can't do the impossible? Now, can they get momentum from this win? So far, I say that's a yes. It looks like they can. I mean, 2024 was a once-in-a-lifetime bad season. But we look at the rest of the season. I will say, though, if they beat Miami, it makes Bama look good. If Miami's beating Florida State, it makes Bama look bad. But, the Florida State is in for a big season. The Crimson Tide, I mean, some people are like that they're 10-5. Wait a minute. They're not going 2-5. Like, I know that Alabama's got a tough schedule, but good grief. They're not going to be 2-5. Like, Missouri, no. They're not going to be starting out 2-5. That's really just throwing the baby out with the bathwater right there.
Well, here's the thing, too, Jackson. And Tommy Castellano, he said all that, Jackson, but he backed every single word of it up today. Yeah, he had the moxie to say it, but he backed it up. Like, everyone can clown on him all they want for saying that in the offseason, Jackson, but he went out there today. He beat you on the air, beat you through the ground. He beat you in every way possible. You had no answer for him. And Jackson, he basically looked at every one of your defenders and said, stop me if you can. And every one of your defenders could not do it. He just wouldn't be denied today. And to one whose point, he said, Alabama's not top 25. DeBoer must be fired. Okay. Listen, I know that's going to be the immediate reaction that Kalen DeBoer needs to be fired. And I did bring it up to Jackson. Was this a must win? And
it's here.
And we did discuss that, yes, this is a game that they should win. But, Jackson, the Kalen DeBoer must get fired stuff that's starting. That's a little hasty, right? We ain't that far yet, are we?
With some people, it is, because you've heard Nick Saban wouldn't done this, Nick Saban wouldn't done that, and you heard Jeffrey and I on the Alabama call-in show, and you asked us in the super chat, is this a must-win for DeBoer? I said yes. Jeffrey disagreed, because like Jeffrey was like, you don't need this game to get in the playoffs. You don't need it to be like the defining moment to get into the playoffs if you're like 10-2 or if you're 11-1 the rest of the way. As for me, I was like, You're gonna get the phone calls and the text messages blowing up that Kellen DeBoer sucks. Kellen DeBoer's a disaster. He's never gonna win when it's only one game. It's not the rest of the season. But
Mm-hmm.
if they're playing like this the rest of the year, then it's really gonna get ugly. Like if Alabama's going 8-4 or 7-5 this year, which that's not gonna happen, but if they were, then there's gonna be some dark days in Tuscaloosa.
Mm-hmm. And Young Evans 81, thank you for being here. He said, when Saban retired, Alabama seems to have lost its aura and discipline. Go Dogs. Yeah, your Dogs had a big day, Young Evans. Big day. Georgia's looking good and scary again. But Jackson, that's the thing too. And 1-2 says Alabama embarrassed the SEC today. This was not a good look, Jackson. The SEC looked pedestrian today. Jackson, LSU saved you guys today. And I know that hurts you to say, but LSU was the one team today you can look at and say, that's our flagship. They beat the number 4 team in the country in their house. Whereas Bama, no offense, Jackson, shit the bed, so to speak. Pardon my language.
Yeah.
But
Done taken, man.
like, pardon my language. I normally don't do that, but the Bama deserves it today. But and like 1-2 said, bad coaching. Look at Bama, QB dumb decision. That's not coach. That's coaching, not a QB error. Here's the thing. Once the game got away, I feel like Bama just completely was just like, I know we spent a lot of time on this, and I'm sure Jackson's getting annoyed talking about it. But I feel like once Bama got down 17-7, DeBoer almost hit the panic button like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. This is not good. Like, we need to draw up the pass plays. Ryan Williams, here we go. And it's just like, run the ball, DeBoer. It's only 10. I know it looks bad on the surface, but run the ball, ground and pound, and make the gut punch.
Ground and pound. If you ground and pound for the rest of the season, especially against Georgia, especially against Wisconsin, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma, and Auburn, this is going to look like a bad dream. This will be like a bad and all those people saying, DeBoer needs to go and all that, that's going to be forgotten.
And Young Evans 81 says, to be fair, DeBoer has won everywhere he's been. Absolutely. I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I don't think Jackson is either. And he's the Bama man. Like, Jackson's the Bama fan. Neither one of us are throwing him out. We are just saying that these conversations are going to start because, no offense, Jackson, love you to death, but your fan base is a little yoo-hoo up in the head sometimes. And that's really what Nick said.
The people that are really nervous as hell or freaked out right away saying, fire this person, fire that person, you can tell how long they've watched college football or how long if they're a fair weather fan or not, or if they're like a real fan. That's how you can tell who's the real fan. But at the same time, it is fair to criticize the decisiveness, the decision-making of Ty Simpson, for example, on 4th and 8, when it looked like he was going to run, but then he threw to Ryan Williams instead. And it is fair to criticize the Alabama defense where we did not, stop the run enough. We had a chance to sack Castellanos on one play. But guess what? We didn't. We didn't. We pushed him out of bounds when his toes on his right foot were out of bounds. That was dumb. That was dumb. That was costly.
Well, here's the thing too, Jackson. And for everyone saying, and I want to say this too, and this is, I think, something to point out. And I even asked Jackson, I said, when does the Alabama aura die? We've always had this conversation on and off air over the phone. But, everyone talking about once Nick Saban retired, Bama lost the aura. Here's the thing. Florida State stormed the field after they beat you, Jackson. It's still a big deal to beat Alabama. And you said the day that dies is the day Bama no longer becomes a prestigious team to beat. Well, guess what, Jackson? That day ain't here yet because Florida State stormed the field on you. And Florida State is arguably one of the most proud programs in history. And they stormed the field on you guys. They were like, woohoo, we beat Bama. Like, so Jackson, people still care about beating you guys. They still care about it.
Oh
Even
yeah.
though Nick Saban, they still care about beating you guys.
We live rent free in everybody's heads. That's the thing, though. It's like good, bad, or ugly. But, you know, because it's like Bama's still there because it's like Florida State was storming the field after they beat Bama. But the moment people stop talking about, you know, how Bama's this great team or how you'll know when people stop talking about Alabama good or bad is when people stop storming the field every time they beat Bama.
Yep. When that day comes, that's when you know Bama's aura and prestige is gone. But that day ain't today because Florida State celebrated like they just won the freaking Super Bowl when they beat y'all today. So it's not dead yet. But, and like 1-2 says, Florida State's QB is legit. Jackson Ronalds is legit. And Troy B even says Alabama's all-star talent that they're for some reason can't win on the road. That's even been a big Saban thing.
Now
Not
you're
as
getting me
much,
nervous about
but
the Auburn game, Troy B. Now you're getting me nervous about Auburn.
well, Jackson, even dating back to Saban Jackson, they struggle on the road a lot. I mean, against Texas Jackson in 2021 with Bryce Young, they kind of struggled with that. They struggled against Kentucky a couple years back in Lexington, even though they won that game 51, I think, to 14. But at one point, it was like 10-7 Bama, like halfway through the second quarter, they were struggling. And then Nick Saban chewed them out like a chicken nugget. It was like, then they got on it. But it's just one of them things. Like Troy B said, Bama on the road is a different team. Next week they'll come home and they'll probably look like Bama that we know and love, or you know and love. But and Darrell, oh boy, I'm gonna make Jackson cry tonight. Alabama might go 2
I'll be all right.
Lord, listen, Darrell, if Alabama goes 2-6 in the SEC, Jackson might have a heart attack for the season's over.
No, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. No worries.
And 1-2 said Auburn looked strong on the road. I was surprised. Yeah, they looked good, but
yeah, but like four losses against unranked teams in the first 2 seasons for Kevin. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. So that is
Jackson,
something you definitely have to look at.
Here's the thing, Jackson. What I will say is this, and then we'll move on to our other games because we still got some other important games to place. I want you, Jackson, to speak to Bama Nation right now. What is your message going forward? Take it away. The floor is yours.
Work on the defense. Work on stopping the run game because it's time for put up or shut up time for Kane Womack, the Womack bat. Because if he doesn't get it fixed, we'll promote somebody from within. And ground and pound. Ground and pound, ground and pound, ground and pound. I cannot stress that enough. Alabama needs to ground and pound every game. Because if you don't, then you're screwed. Just like today.
And Darrell's having his moment of laughing at Alabama. Listen, Darrell. Listen, I used to be that way, but ever since I've met Jackson, I feel so bad now doing that. Like I did when Bama lost today. I wanted to celebrate, but I was like, oh man, poor Jackson.
It's like Megamind defeating, you know, the superhero, where it's like, you know, oh well, it's all great and all, but now I'm bored. We're all bored. Oh, I'm all right, no worries. But
Darrell's like he's got 7 titles. Why are you saying?
6 titles, like, actually.
Like, what else does he need? Well, all he needs is wife and kids to complete the trifecta to real. Then he'll have everything. But in all seriousness, though. And Steven is here as well. Woo, Steve. He's like, I'm in to talk my ish. I said both Florida State and LSU would win. Hey, listen, Steven, you can back me up with this. I was on the LSU hype train too, and I even made mention that Florida State could win, but Jackson talked me off the ledge over here. Anywho, and then, but with all that being said, let's talk about Michigan, New Mexico real fast, and then we'll get
Bryce
to
Underwood
LSU
is
punch.
that guy. He is that guy for Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the biggest takeaway. Michigan's defense still looks strong. New Mexico, Jackson, their quarterback is a gamer. Like, he took so many big hits today, and he got right back up and was like, okay, let's go. But Michigan looked good. Now, like I said, it's against New Mexico. Let's not overestimate. Justice Haynes had 2 touchdowns, the former Bama running back, but Michigan looked good. Let's hit these real fast.
Florida, beat Long Island University. I mean, you're supposed to. I want to see Florida South, Florida Nets, but that's an underrated game we need to keep an eye on. Kansas State, North Dakota. Why is Kansas State in top 25? Why? That was crap.
Yeah,
You should have lost.
Jackson, Dylan Edwards. Here's the thing, Jackson. Dylan Edwards being out for Kansas State, you can see it. They're not the same team, and it showed today. I watched a little bit of this game because I had the ESPN Plus. I paid for the subscription because of obviously this and other things.
Oh, I was talking with Joey Foster today, and I was getting him, helping him out with some ESPN Plus stuff. That was pretty cool, man. Oh, man, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma smacked Illinois. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say real fast, Jackson, they need Dylan Edwards in a hurry because if he's not healthy, they ain't going to be very much. Like Darrell mentions, their season might be over. And listen, they shouldn't be losing to North Dakota. And yes, I know Darrell, but we have to mention it. Dylan Edwards is the heart and soul of that team. I understand that, Darrell, yes. But when you lose the heart and soul, the heartbeat of your team, you're going to feel depleted. You're going to be looking bad against these teams. I mean,
and before we get to our next game that we're covering, we got 36 people watching on my X account. Tune in to Sports Talk with Austin and on my YouTube channel as well. You won't regret. You won't want to miss the stuff we've got cooking. Like, comment, subscribe to each of our channels so you never miss another video whatsoever or another episode whatsoever.
Yes.
Alrighty, so we've got our next few games. Oklahoma beat Illinois State like they're supposed to. Oklahoma, Michigan's going to be the big one. Texas A&M beat UTSA. What am I supposed to do? Like, okay, here's your cookie. Shoot. Go away, Texas A&M. Indiana won a tight one against Old Dominion. Well, yeah.
It looks sloppy. I think.
I hear Indiana.
I will say,
for now.
I will say real fast, good buddy. I saw a few minutes of this before I had run to the grocery store to get something because apparently my mom forgot some drinks for the kids, so I had to run to the store. But Indiana looked okay. Like, I think Kurt Sinetti's coming back down there, but that's the answer. Ole Miss, you beat Georgia State. You want a cookie? Shoot, Lane Kiffin. Iowa State looked good.
I told you Iowa State beat the spread. Ole Miss backed Georgia State. Tennessee was going to spank Syracuse. I mean,
here's the thing, too, Jackson. Tennessee looked good. Now, I don't know how much this was Josh Heupel doing his magic on offense, but they
got the Bobby Hill Riz. That's the thing. Joey Aguilar has the Bobby Hill Riz.
Not the Bobby Hill Riz. Syracuse Jackson, their defense is very exposable. Fran Brown's got a lot to work on. Their offense,
Now I
I'm
need to
not as
go
worried about.
watch King of the Hill revival again, so I can watch. Oh my God, that's Josh Heupel. Oh, he's with
Oh my
Connie.
God.
Josh Heupel's with Connie.
See, this is what happens, folks, when you tune into Monty Jackson's show every single week. He gets off on these tangents, and I do too. But that's okay. We put up with one another. We're like that old married couple. We put up with one another. But Tennessee did a good job today, Jackson. They looked really good. We're going to find out a whole lot about them in a couple weeks against Georgia. They beat up on a decent Syracuse team. Mississippi State, Jackson, showing some life. Maybe Jeff Libby. Southern Miss, I know, is not the greatest opponent, but Mississippi State, we'll see next weekend against Arizona State.
Yeah,
Next
what
week,
he said.
next weekend against Arizona State, we'll see how much of a pulse they really have. Even if they don't win, Maryland, you beat Florida Atlantic. Good job. Oh, Purdue, look, they shut out
Oh,
Ball
Barry
State.
Odom getting things rolling. It started in West Lafayette. I've got a feeling good things are coming in West Lafayette. And I think Barry Odom's
And
going to be happy at Purdue.
Jackson Tulane looked good against Northwestern. I
Yeah,
mean,
Northwestern sucks.
Pitt beat up on Duquesne. Good job, Pat Narduzzi. Now shoe with all love and respect.
Navy won.
Navy
And
looked
Birch,
good.
you're asking Darrell your question about Kentucky beating Toledo? Yes, they did. And we're getting to that in a little bit. The After Dark alma mater, Merrimack against Mark Rogers' alma mater was quite a battle. Kent State won in tight fashion, but I mean, it is Kent State. Oh wow, we didn't know that, Bert. So that's pretty cool. Like I'll make sure not to say anything negative about Northwestern for your sake and your family's sake. I'll make
And
sure.
Steven says, "Go ahead, Jack."
Yeah, I was telling Bert, so I'll make sure that I won't. I'll think of the nicest things to say about Northwestern. Which I mean, I'm always going to find something nice about every team in all college football. No worries. I'm always going to, even about teams I don't like.
And here's the thing, real fast, Jackson, to his comment: the top of the Big Ten is the best of the. After 1 week of play,
Will
now we
do,
still got
Bert.
we still got a couple games left, but right now, here's the thing: the only two teams definitively, Jackson, we could say right now look the best is Penn State and probably LSU, and we'll get to LSU in a second. Now,
Penn State beat the
Kentucky,
hell out of Nevada. They didn't go to Death Valley in South Carolina like LSU did. Penn State beat the hell out of Nevada. It's not like they had Colin Kaepernick. I mean, it's like Penn State. They're too chicken shit to have Pittsburgh on their schedule on an annual basis. I'm not too impressed with their Nevada win. It's not all that precious.
timeout, Jackson. Timeout. Oh, I didn't mean to get you going down that rabbit hole. We'll get there in a second. Kentucky, Jackson, looked good today. Kentucky's defense, Jackson, looked pretty stout. And Steve, we'll get in that later, Stephen, for a later game.
I know, like Darrell, felt like this is going to be a Toledo win, but I think that I said this is going to be a close win by Kentucky. I believe, right?
I did. You said double overtime and Kentucky wins it on a field goal.
That's what I thought. I was way off on Kentucky. I was 6 points off on Kentucky.
I think I said like 20-10. I think I was like 20-10. But Jackson, my 7-5, 8-4 Kentucky prediction. I know it's one game, but if they could beat Ole Miss next week, they're on pace to do that. If everything goes well. Boston College, year 2 of the Bill O'Brien era gets going. The Rich Rod era looking good. UConn, my boys at Louisville took care of business. Isaac Brown had himself a day. That bad
Air Force.
Yeah, Air Force looked good as well. But Isaac Brown Jackson scored 2 touchdowns for 126 on, I believe it was like 17, 18 carries. Miller Moss looked good. Defense, I know we played EKU, looked really good. We play James Madison next Friday, so I'm gonna wait to evaluate what we really are because James Madison's a good P4 team. If we're able to dominate them, then I might start to get a little hype going. But for right now, that was a good win, and I love you guys. Good win today.
Let's go, Ville.
Temple. Yeah, there we go. Northern Illinois surviving Holy Cross. Liberty. Arkansas looking good. Memphis looking good. Look,
Arkansas,
Auburn could
Memphis,
score.
Iowa. Oh,
I
Iowa's
got
now.
Auburn.
Oh, wow. We got Kirk Ferentz as the tying as the all-time winningest coach in the Big Ten, and he can get that next week on big noon kickoff against Iowa State if they beat Iowa State. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And Jackson, they scored over 20 points too. And listen here, Jackson, you got some apologizing to do to Tony Elliott in Virginia. I told you they weren't going to blow it. Where's your faith, good buddy?
All right. Well, Virginia's getting close to bowl eligibility. But I will.
James Madison looked good.
But I'll never quit laughing my ass off at Indiana canceling their home and home against Virginia. I mean, they should have a South Park parody on that, honestly.
Vandy Jackson looked good. Diego Pavia looked good today. Western Kentucky, they ran up the score. Arkansas State,
Middle
South
Tennessee,
Alabama. USC Jackson put a spanking on Missouri.
That's a bad way to start off the FBS. That's a bad way to start off the FBS era for Missouri State, but I mean, the best part about being down is the only way to go is up. Let's go down to the next several games.
Yeah, I'm getting there, Jackson. Louisiana Tech, he's very bossy, guys. Hard to put up with him sometimes.
Okay, that game's complete hell. That's trash.
Oh gosh, Jackson. BYU 69 going. Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, Portland State got well, I'm gonna let you use your minds on that, ladies and gentlemen. Rice, Louisiana. Okay.
Rice wins a tight one against Louisiana. Gosh, I feel sorry for the poor suckers that had to watch that game. State looks good.
Oh, you're gonna have to. Oh, I'd have to really just be like, you gotta pay me $1,000 to watch that game. Nah, I won't do that to you.
Tulsa, and then look at those. Now we're on to the main course here.
Let's go back up here.
Hold on, because this is the game.
You passed it. You there it. No. It's like Ham on Toy Story 2, where he's just like clicking the remote fast. He's like, go back. And it's like, yep, he's back.
Jackson, I want to say this. I picked LSU to win, and you told me that was a mistake Wednesday. Jackson, I'm going to leave the floor to you, but I want a formal apology to Brian.
There's nothing to apologize for, bro. There's nothing to apologize for.
Excuse me, Jackson. You doubt Brian Kelly, and you said he cannot win.
He's not Moses. He wins the big regular season game. That's what I've been telling you. He always wins the big regular season games, but he always falls apart in the postseason. You know, it's like, and winning the Texas Bowl don't count. He can't win an Orange Bowl. He's not going to win a. I don't think he can win a playoff game. But if I see more games like this. If I see more games like this in the regular season, which it looks like we will, then I can go, LSU will win a playoff game or two. LSU will win a playoff game or two. That does not automatically mean they're going to win it all. Do not get yourself overhyped on this.
Here's the thing. With all due respect, Jackson, you have been the biggest Brian Kelly critic. And I give you that. You've ever had every right to, but you cannot deny what that man did today. He went into Death Valley, one of the hardest places to play at night, and he won. He had his team ready to play. They ended the season opening streak. No more of this, LSU can't win a season opener. That's no more, Jackson. Those critics can go bye-bye now. Brian Kelly, Jackson, is an elite head coach. I don't care what anyone says. And
You're throwing the cart in
LSU
before the horse, buddy. You're throwing the
no,
cart in
I'm not,
before the
Jackson.
horse. Hey,
Listen, Jackson, who single-handedly saved the SEC from mediocrity today? Because it certainly wasn't Alabama today over there getting roasted by Florida State. And I do that with all love with you, Jackson. But Brian Kelly saved the SEC today. I want this bookmark, clipped, whatever you want to do. Brian Kelly saved the SEC on a day like today. He went into Death Valley with everyone counting him out, except the true ones that know, and he got it done. Garrett Nussmeier, the LSU defense was looking great today, and they beat Clemson. LSU, Jackson, is for real, and they're here to stay. Unfortunately for you, Jackson,
let's see what LSU can do against the lights of Georgia and the lights of Texas for this season. Let's see what they can do against Georgia and Texas.
Jackson, I'm just tired of this Brian Kelly disrespect, good buddy. It's time that we all acknowledge he's an elite head coach. And for you to stop doubting BK, Jackson, because he did it. He came through in the clutch. What a gutsy coach that is, Jackson. Put going down to Death Valley, getting it done.
He ain't no Nick Saban. He ain't no Nick Saban.
Okay.
He's no Bobby Bowden. He's no Tom Osborne. He's no Bub Wilkinson. He's not.
Listen, Jackson, I know I'm on the BK hype tonight, but I won't go that far. I won't say he's Nick Saban or Bobby Bowden. But here's the thing, though, Jackson. People forget, Jackson. He took LSU to the SEC championship game in 2022. People forget that, but he did do that.
But here was the thing about that 2022 season when he took him to the SEC title game. Yes, they had a win against Alabama. But what they do after that, had Arkansas's QB been healthy for that game, they'd have lost to Arkansas. And guess what happened? Yes. They lost to a 4-7 Texas A&M team. They pissed away an extra point against Florida State. That's the thing, though. That was not good. That was bad right there. It was just horrible. And they beat a depleted Purdue team in their bowl game.
Listen,
like, Purdue didn't want to be there. They didn't have their stars. Like, come on, man.
Here's the thing, Jackson. I'm not denying any of that, but we cannot act like, and I'm going to pull this back up, we cannot act like what they just did tonight does not erase a lot of that. All this bad mojo saying Brian Kelly can't win the big one or Brian Kelly can't, the season openers. Brian Kelly just did probably one of the most impressive things anyone could have done this weekend. Besides Texas and Ohio State,
he's not baby Moses. He's not baby Moses in that little basket, okay? He's not baby Moses getting all the love. He's some old man doing weird dances because he thinks it relates to young guys and doing fake voices.
But here's the thing, though, Jackson. He just went to Death Valley and beat the number 4 team in the country. Whatever you think of Brian Kelly, it goes out the window tonight.
He won big games on the road. Here's the thing, though. Notre Dame was winning big games in the road in 2012. They won a big one against Oklahoma at Norman, Oklahoma. You saw, like, the 2012 season being, like, a great year for Notre Dame, but they got smacked off the face of the earth by Alabama in the Natty. Now, I'm not saying that's the same fate for LSU, but I'm just saying, don't throw the cart in before the horse. Just because you got a great victory week 1 does not automatically mean you're going to win national title. I mean, take USC LSU, for example. USC defeated LSU. A lot of people got overhyped on USC. And what did USC do? They fell apart. I'm not saying that's going to be the same thing that happens to LSU. I'm not saying that. But do not let yourself get overhyped by week 1 victories, and do not let yourself get upset by week 1 losses. Week 1 is not the be-all, end-all in the world of college football, especially when you got the 12-team playoff.
Here's the thing, though, Jackson. I get where you're going with that. I do. And I'm not saying that LSU's going to win the national championship. In all seriousness, I'm not going to say that. But here's the thing, Jackson. You cannot tell me watching that game tonight. And I know you have eyes, Jackson. We all have eyes here. You cannot tell me, Jackson, that that's not a massive win. You
It
cannot
was a
tell me.
humongous win. I can honestly agree with you on that. I will give you that. That was a humongous win for the LSU Tigers. It was a much needed win for the Tigers.
As Jackson, even though me and you agree on Brian Kelly, me and you both agree tonight. No matter what comes the rest of the way, this might be the landmark win in Brian Kelly's LSU era. And that's saying something because 2022 with Jaden Daniels to fall in for the 2-point conversion against your boys at Bama. But all this bravado of Brian Kelly can't win a big regular season game. He hasn't been able to do it except for the 1 year. He can't win an opener. LSU's defense stinks. Garrett Nussmeier, he's not the quarterback. He's not. And it just seems like, Jackson, everything that has gone against LSU, they proved a lot of people wrong tonight. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, LSU's going to win the national title. It's going to be them in Penn State, or it's going to be them in Ohio State. I'm just saying, when we look at this in a vacuum, I know it's week 1, and yes, and part of it, I'm doing it for the clips and views to get people going. But I will say, I am really impressed with Brian Kelly. He needed this.
Well, let's look at the stats of this game, shall we? Because that was a great game by Nussmeier today. Go to the box score.
Yep. Take a minute to load. Got a lot of tabs going. But so, got a lot of tabs. Here we go. Garrett Nussmeier went 28 for 38, 230 and a touchdown. Loved it with 19 for 38,
Masterpiece right there.
230 and a pick. Here's the thing with this, Jackson. Nussmeier played as good as game as probably any quarterback. Whereas Klubnik looked off kilter. He threw the pick in no man's land. He just had no answer. But go ahead with your Nussmeier point.
Oh man, it's a master class. Like, it was a great night for Nussmeier tonight. I mean, he's basically getting himself in line for the Heisman for 2025. Now, let's look at the receiving corps, shall we?
Receiving. It was a good day. I mean, honestly, Jackson, Barrett Brown, the former Kentucky Wildcat, he should have had a touchdown, but they called it incomplete. Now, I was sitting there watching that, Jackson. Here's the thing. What in the world is a catch nowadays? Because he completed the process, had a foot down, and was across the goal line, but they called it incomplete after he hit. So what in the world is a catch now, Jackson? I mean, that's not enough. Barron Brown should have had a touchdown catch, but Aaron Anderson, Jackson, he's a speedster. Like, Jackson, I know LSU Bama play later on, but Aaron Anderson, Jackson, he caught a lot of screens tonight, and he's very elusive, slippery, and fast. If Bama doesn't get better tackling, he's going to have a field day with you all. Because Clemson had their hands. Clemson lost their best receiver. I know, a lot of people may use that against LSU, but LSU was dealing with a couple of O-line injuries too, and they had 4 starting O-linemen that were brand new. So it wasn't like everybody came into this healthy, but it's just one of them. And to Troy B's point, if you play in the SEC and 2025 Clemson's your career signature win, you got more issues than you think. But here's the thing, Troy, that I will say to this, and the reason why I said that is because of everything surrounding why I call it his career signature win. Just the surrounding parts. I mean, everybody was saying Brian Kelly this, Brian Kelly that, including my partner in crime down here, who has always even said it beforehand. He was like, Brian Kelly, he loses these type of games. He'll beat up on the Mississippi States and the and those type of teams, but he can't win the games that really count. Well, he did tonight. He silenced a lot of people tonight. Is all I'm saying. That's why I said it's a career signature win. He will look back on this and say, you know what, that was a pretty damn good win. Pardon my language. I'm cussing quite a bit tonight, but I'm hyped up, people. I love this sport. And Steven even says, folks hate Brian Kelly, but he's a proven winner. And here's the thing, Jackson. You can speak to this, but Jackson, you've always admitted Kelly is a proven winner, right? You've never denied that, correct?
He can win in the regular season, but I've always doubted his ability to win in the postseason because of the record that shows.
Mm-hmm. And I will say this though, Jackson. I mean, here's the thing. I know it's week one, and a lot of people are gonna overhype things, like I just did Brian Kelly. And some of it's proven because that was a massive win. I think we both agree on it.
But you always need somebody that's the hype man and somebody that's the realistic guy. Because like this way, it's like you've got a great show. Because like if you got like two hype men, it's like, oh, okay, I'm tired real quick. But it's like if you got like two people that are overly realistic, it does get a little boring, right? But that's the beauty of this show. Like we had these fun conversations. Now I would say that, Troy B. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Come on,
man. You want to talk about throwing the baby out with the bathwater? You thought I was going. He's going way down low. Like, listen, Clemson would have to be pretty bad for that to happen. Look, let's not act like LSU's not a top 5 team. Like, listen, even Jackson will admit, with all Brian Kelly's flaws, he always has a top 5 team. At least on paper, he does. What he does with it, we'd be here another hour. Jackson wouldn't want that. And Steven says you could say that about 90% of coaches. I think
I just got to make sure I catch
story here.
Oh, there we go.
Go ahead.
But yeah, it's just like it was a wild night for LSU. It was a great one right there. But
here's the thing. To kind of put a bow on it, I guess it's a fantastic win for Brian Kelly. No one's going to deny it. At the end of the day, whether you're Team Kelly or not, whether you stand on my side of the fence or Jackson, whether you think he could win the big one or not, nobody can deny this is a landmark win. Going to Death Valley at night after the surrounding circumstances. It's a great win for LSU regardless, and their defense is free. Whether they're going to win the national title or win the SEC, we've got 14 more weeks ahead of us. So we're going to find out. But with all that being said, though, Jackson, week one is always fun, but we still got 3 more games ahead. And with that being said, though, Jackson, people think with 3 more games ahead, you think, oh, well, this is it, right? No. Final whistle. We'll be back Monday night. You thought tonight was crazy. We have 3 more blockbuster games, 2 tomorrow and 1 Monday night. And after North Carolina TCU goes final, me and Jackson will be right back here for final whistle Monday night after TCU North Carolina to wrap up the entire weekend. Well, Labor Day weekend, the last 3 days. And then, of course, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming of Wednesdays. And Jackson hit the whistle. But but with that being said, we'll see y'all Monday night for that. But before we go, and you can find it here, of course, on Jackson's YouTube channel and mine as well. But if you want to hear Jackson and Jeffrey have even more of a meltdown, I've got the perfect place for that. I know some people are thinking, why is it Jackson crying?
We were pretty pissed today. Let's put it that way.
Here's the thing. People want to know, why is Jackson crying? Why isn't he cussing me out? Well, he saves that stuff for this channel. Take it away, good buddy.
Oh yeah, it's like I'm a little more civilized on the voice college football, but I act a little uncivilized on here every now and again. So it's like, there we go. So it's like a,
Tell the
but
people what you got going.
if you want me, but it's like, if you want me to, go uncensored on the voice college football, all you have to do is put in a super chat, and it's like, I will go uncensored. That I can guarantee. That's why it's like Jeffrey, where it's like anytime we're reading like super chats that are pretty crazy, I always like to take one for the team because Jeffrey's not too crazy about reading the weird stuff from like one or two people every now and again, or one or two callers. But again, that's what I'm here for. I'm there to read the messages, so to speak. But of course, you can check me out on Alabama, the Voice of College Football, Monday nights, Tuesday nights, and Saturdays after every game. Thursday nights on the College Show, where we take your calls on Alabama, the Voice of College Football with Jeffrey Don Talk Sports and Coach Smook Hines. All right here on Alabama at the Voice of College Football. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. And we're 6 subs away from 2,900. Let's get the 2,900, then let's get the 3,000 subs, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. But like Jackson, yes. But like Jackson said, if you want to hear more on his rant, go check it out there. Jackson's more civilized with me because I do enough to get him going. But like Jackson said as well, find him here on his YouTube channel as well. And you can find me here on my YouTube channel, and of course, my X. And of course, if you want to hear Jackson's rant and ravens, follow him on X, Instagram, and his threads, and follow him where the skies are blue constantly. But with that being said, Jackson, we're back in the full swing of things. College football is back. We're already having debates about things that we probably shouldn't be at this time of night, but here we are. That being
That's
said,
why I say tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at pubs about the magic that we're creating on each of our channels, all right here for all of you. Like, comment, subscribe, click on notification bell so you never miss another video or episode whatsoever. We'll see you soon. And this doesn't happen with all of you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for commenting and watching. And welcome back to the Final Whistle second season. It is awesome doing this with you, good buddy.
yes. And we will see you Monday night, guys. Don't forget, we'll be here after TCU, North Carolina. We're pulling a triple header this week. But until then, we'll see you Monday night. Enjoy the rest of the games. Go Cards, everybody. And we're out.
Roll Tide.
Hit our music.